Did you know there's certain pros and cons to seasonal locations? Stay to the end of the video, I'm going to tell you exactly what those are. Hi, this is Phil from PDQ Furniture Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind Group page, and I help hundreds of aspiring ATM owners go from 0 ATMs to ATM Business Pro in as little as 30 days. Always remember, here at PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind Group page, we buy your freedom back one transaction at a time. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to jump right into the video. Pros and cons to seasonal locations. Pro number one. Alright, so having a seasonal location helps us increase transactional volume, also helps us increase number of locations. And this also gives us exposure to a lot of people that not necessarily would be into where we're doing business as. So we get a chance to say there's an ATM, we have our sign on it, other people see this, and you know what? It also helps us market it. Plus we do transactional volume during those times of the year, but maybe it's a little slower or in a different venue that we wouldn't normally be into, such as a golf course or a ski location. Or if you're in the Midwest, we do a lot of pumpkin patches and things of that nature, Halloween themes. Those are all good locations that are seasonal locations that aren't there for a long haul, but do increase our transactional volume. Point number two, con. All right, but now we put an ATM in a golf course. So one of the challenges, especially here in the Midwest, the golf courses are really only open 8 months of the year. So there is that 4-month downtime. This year, the weather has been increasingly warm. So you know what, the golf season has stretched a little longer than normally, but for the most part, November, December, January, and February, and a little bit of March are non-existing in a golf course. So you don't do a lot of transactional volume during that time. So one of the negatives is you're not going to do any transactions during those months. So if you're thinking about starting a profitable ATM business but didn't know how, stay to the end of the video and I will share with you a checklist of how to start the ATM business the right way, even if you have zero experience in ATM business or business in general. In this checklist, I will share with you 5 things you need to start your profitable ATM business so you can build a passive income source for your family. You'll have a clear roadmap towards ATM business success so you can earn between $250 and $1,500 of passive income every single month. All right, so let's get back to the video. Point number 3 is, you know what, you'll have a place to move older ATMs. Now, here's what we did. Early on in the game, we used to buy ATMs, run them to end of life. Then what we decided to do is, you know what, every year we would take 20% of our route and we would buy new ATMs into some of the better locations and then move those ATMs down the line. Now, after a while, ATMs, the models, they change. About every 3 to 4 years, the manufacturers will change the ATMs. So now what we had is we had older ATMs. Now, it was no big deal. Sometimes the ATMs, manufacturers change colors. And then so people say, oh, I don't want that blue one or I don't want that tan one. So we didn't have a place to go. When we got a location, we didn't have a place for put that older ATM. Now the golf courses, the ski lodges, the pumpkin patches, they just want an ATM. They didn't really care about the color of the ATM. So we had an opportunity to take those older ATMs and maybe they were in a warehouse that nobody wanted anymore, and we could put those ATMs and still continually make money with that older ATM during those times at the seasonal locations. All right, point number 4. This is kind of a pro-con. So initially what happened is we had an opportunity to put an ATM in the golf course. So we put the ATM in the golf course. Now the golf season started to wind down in September. So but the pumpkin patch season started to come up. So we took the golf course ATM, we put it in a pumpkin patch, usually in mid-September. Because golf season, we waited till after the leagues were done. Usually golf leagues were done mid-September. We took it out and then we had all October for a pumpkin patch. Then when the pumpkin patch was done in end of October, then we had a couple Christmas tree farms where they would just sell Christmas trees. We would put the ATM into that Christmas tree farm, get that right until the end of the year. That worked out good. Sometimes we even got to put it into a ski resort and the seasons just worked out perfect. But then now here's the con. Sometimes the season doesn't work out perfect. And you know what? The golf season, they wanted it a little longer. So they wanted it to the end of October, which blew the pumpkin patch. And then we got the pumpkin patch going into end of October, but the Christmas tree farm, they wanted to start that in November, and the pumpkin patch season went a little longer. So we started overlapping the seasons. So it didn't work out. So one of the cons that you will have is it doesn't always work out the way you think it is because of the seasonalities. We have sometimes the golf courses want to start a little earlier, and with ski, it gets done a little later. It just depends on what it is. Now you're thinking, well, how can snow and golf? Well, sometimes, you know what? They're running the ski. They usually run into right around St. Patrick's Day, sometimes a little later for us. And then, but if the weather is warmer, the golf courses want us to have the ATMs in there 1st of March. So they don't overlap perfectly. That was one of the challenges we did run into. In the beginning, we didn't have these challenges, but the weather and the way things go, we started running into this. Luckily, we have a lot of extra ATMs that we can put and jockey around. Plus, keep in mind that I was also doing mobile events. We would always buy brand new mobile ATMs. I would put those in if I didn't have older ATMs. I put those in case when I got caught behind the 8 ball with an overlapping season. So one of the cons, if you're going to do this, is just be prepared that, you know what, it's okay to start in this arena, but you guys will have to have maybe an extra ATM just in case this does happen. But also go with an older ATM, one that you had for a while, because this is a surefire way to get that extra every bit of life out of that ATM. So point number 5, you're in a seasonal location, so you'll be able to get that extra bit of money. So let's say normal surcharge for you is $3, $3.25. You can ask $3.99 or $4.99 because it is a seasonal event. You only got a limited amount of time to be there. In my head, I think of it just basically like a permanent mobile event for a short amount of time. It's just a longer mobile event in my head, and that way you can charge that extra little bit of money because you know what, you're going to pick that ATM up at the end of the season and you're going to come back next season. So that's a nice little way to make extra bit of money, and think of it as more of a longer term mobile event. So if you're thinking about starting your own ATM business, I want to invite you to my free training entitled ATM Business Passive Income Checklist, the top 5 things you need to start your profitable ATM business, where I'll share with you 5 things you need to start your profitable ATM business so you can start earning passive income, make more money, and spend more time with your family. So click the link down below to get this free ATM business checklist. Again, this is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind group page, where we buy your freedom back one transaction at a time. Thank you guys very much.